Hey, Tony Gasson here. Now, question. Why don't men give closure? Got this question yesterday. Um, when it was in the Q&A and somebody said something about why man uh doesn't break up or don't give you closure or something like that. And my answer was men rarely close doors behind them. And somebody asked me, well, why is that? And so what I meant by that is a lot of times when you break up with a man or things go sour and you go on a break or you get ghosted or you break up and the man does not come and sit you down and talk to you and say, hey, I want to express to you and just let you know that this relationship has run its course and you're not a good fit for me. I'm not a good fit for you. And I really want you to be happy in your life just as well as I want to be happy in my life. So I think it's best that we part ways and that you move on with your life. I'll move on with my life. And I wish you the best. It's not about you. It's just about our union, our connection. And I don't want to waste your time and be selfish, be unfair. And so I'm releasing you, releasing me, and just want to let you know, like, you free to move on and meet the love of your life and ride off into the sunset. Now, how many women, I probably could count on one hand out of the thousands and thousands of women I've heard breakup stories from, I probably can count on one hand how many times I've heard a woman tell me that their man told them something similar to that, like a closure statement. And the reason why it doesn't happen often is because here's the thing. As men, we are shooting in the dark. We do not know what a wife is. We do not know what a wife looks like. We do not know what is the perfect fit for us. So it's kind of like when you have no money, you want everything. When you have a lot of money and you got enough money to buy what you want, it's like you don't know what to pick because you kind of can have everything. And so it's like you get to a place where you're like, do I do this? Do I do this? Do I do this? Like, what do I want? But when you ain't got nothing, you able to focus in on that one thing that you really want. Your dream car is a Mercedes-Benz such and such, S550, S600. But then when you get the money for it, now you like, well, do I want a Bentley? Do I want a Range Rover? Do I want a McLaren? Do I want all of them? And so that's how men are with when it comes to picking a wife. A lot of times it's like a man really doesn't know because it's a plethora of women. So a man really doesn't know which woman to pick. And so the unfortunate part about this is kind of like, this is the unfortunate part about this. And this is why you have to, as a woman, you got to know who you are and you got to know what you want. And this is why you can't compromise. This is why I tell you don't compromise, because you could be compromising and you could be making unhealthy compromises. You could be making compromises and you may give up some standards, some things that you really want in a husband, and then you still get left. Because what men are doing, and I know because I was looking for my wife since the age of 16. So I understand what this was like. When we date, what we doing is we dating a woman, but we constantly looking for an upgrade. We constantly looking to see if there's something better. And we don't settle down and get married and be faithful until we find that there's nothing better than this woman that we have met. And that's what makes it hard, because if a man is not mature, then he doesn't understand the deductive reasoning and the comparisons that he making. So me, now I understand from my wife, but it took me about 2 years into marriage. Like, we was married, and I married my wife partially out of love, but then also out of responsibility because she had got pregnant. And I had always told my mama, if I get a prostitute pregnant, I'm gonna marry her because I'm finna be in the home with my child. Now, I love my wife, and I knew she was my wife, but I was 23 years old. So I wasn't in love. I loved her, meaning I had love for her. I would have slapped somebody for her. I would not have died for her probably, but I would have slapped somebody for her, but I would have slapped somebody or hurt somebody for far less. So that's not saying a lot. Now, I'm being honest with you so that you understand that a man who has become who I am today, responsible, respectful, a man of integrity, even I went through this. So what do you think another man is going through who may not have morals, who may not have as many standards? It's something that every man goes through. And that's what I try to help women understand. Because women always try to say, I always hear women say, well, a man of God won't do this. And that's not true. A man is a man. It don't matter what God he served, he's still going to make mistakes. He's still going to do things that don't make no logical sense. And so when I married my wife, I didn't fall in love until like 2.5, 3 years into the marriage. Like 2 years into the marriage, that's when I fell in love. And that was a decision. And when I made a decision to say, you know what, I'm in this. So I'm going to drop my guards and I'm going to fall in love. I'm going to allow myself to fall in love. And that was just out of fear. That was out of fear of, am I making the right choice? Can I do this the rest of my life? Like, can I be faithful to one woman the rest of my life? Can I only sleep with one woman? So at 25 years old, I got married at 23. At 25, I made a decision. I was 25. I made a decision. I said, okay, you done come this far. You married. If you live to 100, this finna be 75 years that you sleeping with one woman. Now, this is also something that a man thinking about if he was promiscuous, like I was, and you done been out there. So see, that's the thing. As men, we going through, and some women doing this too. So you got to look at it like that. It's like, if you a woman and you with this guy, and everything going good, and this like your boyfriend, but you like, everything is cool, but I'm just not that sexually attracted to him. And then you meet this other guy who it's a lot of chemistry, and he look better, he talk better, he work harder. That could cause some unsurety to where you like, did I pick wrong? So now, any little rift, now you may stay faithful, but in the back of your mind, you wondering if this other guy you done met is your soulmate. So now things start to get a little tense in your relationship. You catch an attitude a little faster, and now any little rift, you ready to break up because you see this other option that you feel like is a better fit. But the thing is, you asking yourself, do I punish myself and stay with this man because I met him first and I hadn't met this man over here that now I work with or go to church with or at the gym with or in the group with or this or that with or met through my friend? Do I stay with this man and settle, or do I go with this man who feels like a better fit? And out of honesty, out of trust, out of loyalty, you may stay here. But in the back of your mind, you wondering if the grass is truly green on the other side. And so I've seen even good women do this. And I've heard a lot of men with money, they always say like, she's faithful until you got money until she meet a man who got more money. And so now when you think about that, now if you're a woman listening to this, if that's not you, I'm sure you know a woman that is. And so for men, as you know, in relationships, men cheat more. Men cheat more than women. It is said that women cheat just as much. That's not true. That's not true. Because I done been a man out there in the streets trying to get women to cheat with me and getting turned down left and right. It is not true that women cheat as much as men. I hate this. I hate to admit it. As a man, I hate to admit it. I hate to say it, but it's not true. Only men who didn't get women say that. And only men who was not the man for that woman and she chose another man that she felt was a better fit. Now he says that women cheat as much as men because he tried to date up. He tried to get a woman out of his league, and then she saw a man in her league, and when he got grease out the mouth, she cheated on him. And now he is sticking to his story that women cheat just as much as men. But on the other side, coming from a man who was a dog and a womanizer, getting turned down left and right by women saying, I got a boyfriend. I got a boyfriend. I'm married. I got a boyfriend. That let me know women do not cheat as much as men. And so understand me now. So if a woman capable of being in a relationship and seeing a better option, then a man is capable of the same thing. Now the thing is what you see today when you read my stories. Go to my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go to my Instagram. If you ain't got no Instagram, make your Instagram. It could be a little private account, and read the Q&As that I do. It's gonna help you in it because it's totally different than what I'm doing here on YouTube. It's gonna help you. Read them Q&As, and you're gonna see how many questions I answer in a row that say, my ex cheated, my ex cheated, my ex cheated, my boyfriend cheated, my husband cheated, my husband cheated. Over and over and over and over. Let me tell you what it is. What it is a man get with a woman because he looking for his wife. He want to be in a relationship. But he get with this woman, and then he see another woman. And then he like, am I with the right woman? But he's afraid to leave, so he doesn't want to make the wrong choice by leaving and going to this other woman, and this other woman who he thought was an upgrade turns out to be a downgrade. So what the man does is he uses an argument or a rift or a disagreement to give him a clean break. And he ghosts, or he take a break, or he say, I need to work on myself, I need to do this, and he goes to this other woman that he has met. And then when he goes to this other woman that he has met, he never tells the woman he was with that it's over and we're done. He may actually still call. He may still text, even though he's in a whole nother relationship. He's still calling, he's still texting. Some men will say, I made a mistake. He's telling the ex that he made a mistake by being with this woman because he wants to keep the door open. He don't know how long this relationship is going to last with this new woman. He doesn't believe he made a mistake because he would leave her the same way he left the ex. He's just telling the ex that he made a mistake and that he misses her and he loves her, to send her mixed signals so that she is stuck in a trance, so that she stands still, and so that she blocks off her heart from any other men while he is enjoying the fruit of his loins with this other woman. And he has this woman believing she is everything. She the only woman in the world. She his dream come true. She's his soulmate. And he will leave his exes on ice, waiting and hoping and believing and thinking that he is confused, that he is lost, that he is all of that, when in his mind he think he know what he doing. But really what's happening is he's operating from fear, because he doesn't really know how to be a man, what marriage is, what a husband is, what a good wife is. So he kind of is really torn, and he's like, okay, was that my wife? Is this my wife? Was that my wife? Is this my wife? And so now what men do is we date and we constantly looking for an upgrade until we find the one. And then when see the sad part about it, this is the unfortunate part about it. And I hate to share this with you, but sometimes this is what knowledge does. You know, it's like it is true that I'm discriminated because of my skin color when I walk into the bank. Yes, that's true, and yes, that's depressing, but I still need to know that so that I could go in there with all my paperwork in order, and there's no way they could deny me because I got everything that I need to have. And if they deny me with everything I need to have, then that's a lawsuit. You see what I mean? So although some of this truth that I share with you is disheartening, it's still gonna help you, because what it'll do is it lets you know, don't give too much too soon, to protect yourself, and don't give everything away, and make sure that you paying attention to the signs. Make sure you paying attention to not just what he's saying, but what he's not saying. Y'all forgive me, my computer's about to shut down. Try to keep it on. I got to coach it a little bit. So now, you know, you making sure that somebody tell me, oh, you be reading notes. You be reading notes. Them videos ain't off the top of your head. You be reading notes, because I be looking at my computer, but I be having other stuff going on, and my computer is shut down after 20 minutes, but I'm trying to keep it on. And so now, think about this. You have to be paying attention and making sure that you see what he is and isn't saying, what he is and isn't doing, because that's going to let you know if he's all into you, and if he feels like you're the one, or if he still got wandering eyes and he wondering. So if you feel like there's something missing, like he kind of distant, he off and on, he up and down, he seemed a little distracted, then that's when you know he's still looking for an upgrade. See, when we lock in, when a man lock in and he know you the one, oh, the love is about to be overwhelming. It's going to be overwhelming. Like, I'm locked in with my wife, and I've been locked in with her since the second year or third year of our marriage. And before then, I was open to, I was wondering, I'm like, did I do the right thing? Like, even though I loved her, I just was wondering, like, can I do this? Like, I come from being a womanizer. I come from being a dog. Like, can I be faithful the rest of my life? And I had fear about that, because a lot of times as men, we don't trust ourselves. So it's not that men fear marriage. It's not that men don't believe in marriage and don't want to be married. It's that we don't know if we're going to have the strength or find the tools to control the urge that we have been feeling since 12 years old to sleep around, to sleep with women. We don't know if we're going to be able to control that. Whereas with women, we see women all the time, and I talk to women all the time. They say, I don't cheat at all. I'm not tempted to cheat at all. I'm not tempted to cheat at all. I hear women say that all the time. I'm like, well, I'm glad you're so confident. You don't hear men say that. You don't hear real men say that. You don't hear men say that until he come to a certain place in his life. I say it now in my life, but see, it's different for me. It's different for me. So it's unfair for me to compare my experience to every other man, because I got other external motivation, because I was called by God and used by God to build a brand teaching on love and relationships. So that in itself keep me faithful, because I know I got a lot of people that's hearing my voice that is listening to what I'm teaching. So if I'm not living that, then my whole ministry, everything that God gave me to do, is flushed down the drain. So when I decided to really go hard in this, that's when I had to really renew my heart and mind. Before I accepted my purpose wholeheartedly and fully, my mind still was open to being everything that I had been before. My mind was open to that. But when I found my purpose. So see, the thing is I can't compare myself and me saying I'm not tempted to cheat on my wife because I found my purpose. A man who has not found his purpose, a man without purpose, he's gonna be tempted to cheat. It may not be as easy for him, and it would be unfair of me to say, oh, you're not no man, or you less of a man because you tempted to cheat. Because I know if I did not have my purpose, I would be tempted to cheat too. Because it ain't just a woman and our love for a woman that keep us faithful. It's our love for God. It's our sense of belonging. It's our purpose. It's a combination of things that you put together that keeps you faithful. And it may be the same for a woman, but I can't speak for women. And I can't speak for every man. I can speak for my type of man, but I can't speak for every single man. And so for some men, they may say, hey, I'm faithful to my woman, and I ain't found my purpose yet. You know, I'm a garbage man, and I like the job. I get paid well, but I don't feel like, you know, slinging the garbage is my purpose, but it's paying me right now. And so I'm happy with that. But I'm faithful to my woman. And so I don't need purpose to be faithful. There are going to be men that say that. But what I'm saying is, if a man hasn't found his purpose and he says that he's confused and he's up in the air on where he's going and coming in his life, I can't judge him for that, because I understand what it feels like to be lost without your purpose, and you confused and you scared and you worried. And so this why I tell you, this why a lot of men keep that door open. And the reason why men don't give closure is so he could come in and out. Because if he closed that door, thank you, baby. My baby just brought me some food. If he closed that door, now you gonna change the lock. Because see, this is the thing. A woman's mind is so strong that if a man tell you, listen, it is 100% over, and I want you to be sure of that, and I want you to move on with your life, and I want you to attract the love of your life, because I am not him. Now tell me how many of y'all done heard a man say that directly, cool, calm, and collected, to where you believe it, and you don't just say, he's just mad, he's just saying that, he's just mad, he's flying off the handle right now. But if a man say that to you as a woman, tell me you ain't gonna be able to find a way to wrap your head around that and move on. 9 out of 10 times when a woman come to me and she worrying about her ex, and if they meant to be, and if they gonna work out, it's because he haven't given her closure, and he literally has moved all the way on. But we could be so selfish as humans sometimes, to where this man will move all the way on, meet a new woman, get married, have kids, and still not give the ex closure. And there are women who write me, this is the sad thing, there are women who write me every day who say, Tony, I broke up with my ex a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. He has moved on, he is married now, but I still miss him, I still love him, and I want to know, do you think if we'll ever have a chance? Because he tells me that he made a mistake and he misses me and he loves me. And I'm like, wow. So he miss you and he love you, but he living with her. He miss you and he love you, but he sleeping with her. He miss you and he love you, but he starting a family with her. Did he leave you? Okay, so if just like he left you, he could leave her. So if he really miss you and love you, he would not be with her. That woman ain't got no gun to his head. He could leave any moment he want to leave, but he's not leaving because he don't miss you and love you. He just wants you to stay there because he don't trust himself, and he know that he's still a dog, and one day he gonna get caught cheating on this woman, and he wants you to still be standing still so he could come back to you when she get fed up, catch him cheating, and she find the strength to move on. He come back to you because you his rest stop, and then he'll be with you until he meet your next replacement. And that's what men will use a woman for when he doesn't know who he is and what he's looking for, and that's why men don't give closure. So that's why I tell women all the time, you have to give yourself closure. You got to look at this man's actions. If he break up with you, if he ghosts you, if he get distant from you, if he stop calling you, he stop texting you, or if his actions don't line up with his words, if he's saying he miss you and he love you, but he ain't giving you no time, he not consistent with you, y'all not in an exclusive relationship, or he dealing with other women or another woman, 1, 2, 3, or how many other women, if his actions don't line up with his words, he lying to you, and you have to close the door. Block him on everything. Delete his number. Block him. Block everybody he talk to. Block everybody he know. close the door, give yourself closure, and move on with your life. Move on with your life. You can't say, well, what if we meant to be? If you meant to be, then it'll be. Move on with your life like it's all the way over and done. And if he meant to be, he got to catch up to you. He got to catch up to you, and he got to show and prove to you that he is a changed man, and he know that you his wife. And you got to believe it beyond a shadow of a doubt. He got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he is your husband and y'all meant to be. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.